Hello and welcome to your reading. My name is Bridget and I feel guided today to do a reading. We're going to do a traditional past, present, and future 3 card pull. Okay, with this oracle deck, the Angels and Ancestors oracle cards. Some of you might be familiar. It's pretty traditional past, present, future. We're just going to explore your past, your present, your future, and see what messages Spirit has to tell you today. And yeah, actually, I'm going to start with these astro dice as well. So we have the Sun, we have Sagittarius, and we have the 5th house. Wow, I love this energy. This is fun energy. This is creative energy. Like, you're a bit of a creative dynamite, I feel like. You're a creative genius. I feel like people really love you. They really love your energy. They would feel really like, oh, I love this person. You know, when people love artists, of different kinds, whatever their niche is, classical music or whatever, there's like just like real appreciation. That's the energy I'm feeling from Spirit for you. And I feel like Spirit wants you to also feel this for yourself. Like, I'm feeling genuine appreciation. You know how sometimes it takes like a niche for someone to appreciate something, like maybe someone who's really into pottery, like they know everything about pottery. They know how to spot, I don't know, the best quality pottery or something that no one else has the right eye for. And it's like they just have this appreciation. I feel like there's something here where Spirit can really see you and appreciate you and your value in a way that maybe certain people on earth, like, they just can't see it because they're not trained in that kind of way. Like someone who's trained in classical music, like they can listen to an orchestra and like single out all the different instruments and understand it in a different way. Whereas someone who doesn't really know anything about classical music, they might be like, it doesn't really do anything for me. Spirit's kind of showing me that the way that Spirit sees you is like someone who really understands you and understands like every little piece. So they understand almost like you are an orchestra, you are a piece of music, and they understand every little thing that goes into you. And they love you for that. And they really appreciate you. And they want you more to be able to see yourself through the eyes of Spirit. That is a very healing thing for you in your life. Part of your life is like healing about being seen, healing from wounds around not being seen or not being valued, not being appreciated, adored, loved, admired. Like, children really, especially I'm getting kind of like inner child energy here, like children really need to be kind of adored, That's sort of that's like a basic need that they have. And I just feel like there's something here around you are giving that to yourself through your spirituality, through your faith, through your connection to the divine. And the more that you allow yourself to see yourself through the eyes of God, through the eyes of Spirit, through the eyes of love, whatever you want to call it, the more you will heal yourself, the more you will start to appreciate the incredible being that you are, that is here on this earth. Like, you are precious. Like, it's a very sacred energy. I feel it right in my heart space when Spirit shows me messages like this. It's just like, you matter so much. You are so precious. You are so loved. You are so adored. You are so seen. Whew. And I'm just seeing like Spirit really wants you to give this to yourself always, always, because for some reason it was taken from you. It's just not there as a default, and it should be. Like, that's what you deserve. I'm getting a lot of inner child energy with the 5th house, talks about children, and then the Sun, Sagittarius. This is like, free your inner child, free your true identity, free yourself from limitations or lack, where you see yourself as not enough in any way. Free yourself from this. That's what Spirit wants for you, to be free and to love yourself and to express yourself fully and ridiculously and playfully and sillily and without judgment. Okay, so let's see. This is your past. Okay, so in the past, you were playing the role of being the peacekeeper. Wow, that feels really significant. You've been the peacekeeper. A harmonious resolution is possible. I feel like you had to be the one to hold peace in your family of origin. I feel like this is really starting in the family in some way. And I feel like your needs weren't central. Your needs were not, like, as a child, the child's needs should always be like centered. But for whatever reasons, there's many, it might not have happened. And I feel like you really played a very, really specific role in your family of like keeping the peace. You may have silenced yourself in order to keep the peace. You might have said, I'm not going to speak up about this, or you may have not known how to. You may not have been given the skills, because she feels very silent to me in this image, right? She's got her mouth shut. She's sort of like silent. She's holding that peace object. I'm not sure what it is exactly. It's probably in the guidebook, but I don't want to get distracted. But there's just this energy of silence and kind of having to hold strong. Is that a buffalo or something behind her? Like she has to hold really strong, and carry a lot of weight. So this is you in the past. This is who you are born from. This is the energy you were born into. This is like how you are, how your psyche, your core beliefs and things like this was even created. Like the sun also talks about our identity, our self, our true self, but it can also talk about our ego, which can do things that are not necessarily in alignment with our true self, but because we are trying to survive or we're trying to get our needs met or we're just responding from trauma or whatever reasons, our ego isn't always true. Our ego might people please or it might abandon self because it doesn't want to not have someone's approval, or our ego might, I don't know, go and do a career to get the parents' approval because that's what you really need, deep down was lacking or something. You know what I'm saying? So there's something about your ego self that is acting out kind of to keep the peace because you want everyone to be happy or this is something you've come from in the past. Like a role that you're trying to break free from, basically. So your presence is representing as freedom here with the Sagittarius energy. Let's get your present. And I also just thought of an actual present as well, like you receive on your birthday or Christmas. I'm like, let's get you a present. Wow. So you are in freedom mode at the moment in terms of you are releasing the old and maybe you are resting. Maybe you do need more rest or just a little bit more introspection, privacy or something like this in like introverted energy. I kind of feel you might be a little bit in a phase, where you're just feeling a bit more introverted or I'm sort of seeing this is also very intuitive, like you feeling this introversion kind of energy because I feel like you are in a phase where you're letting go of the old and it's not always wise to try to begin. Like I'm sort of seeing maybe someone who's sort of taking a step back from, I don't know, trying to form heaps of new relationships right now, maybe so that you're focusing on releasing the old and clearing out those energies before you kind of engage in new cycles. Some of you might be resonating with that because I'm just seeing there's a lot of endings and releasing happening right now. So it might just genuinely not be the time for starting a new relationship or entering into new cycles of really anything, but relationship for some reason comes to mind. I guess we're going to pull a fuchsia card now, kind of see where you're heading to, okay? Oh, wow! Earth Mother, feel loved and comforted. Yes, and that is exactly what this reading kind of has been saying is that you are so deserving of really being loved and adored. And it's something that for some reason has been part of your journey and your choices to experience like a deeper healing and cycle clearing. Like you're really clearing cycles, you're clearing ancestry. This is really deep work. But you see how she's so fertile and you've like really turned it around. You've really turned the energy around. I feel like, yeah, you might have been born into some kind of conflict with Peacekeeper or conflict within yourself between two parts. Like, the part of you that wanted to keep yourself safe but maybe wasn't authentic. That was like, oh, I'm just going to not say anything, because it's safer that way, or I'm never listened to anyway. That's the kind of energy I'm getting. It is quite heartbreaking because you just felt silenced in some way, or your identity felt silenced or stifled. And I just see that for a time in your, like, maybe, like I said, your way of coping was trying to keep the peace, trying to keep the love of your family, of society, of like, oh, well, I'll just try to be what they want me to be loved. It's that kind of energy. Like you played a specific role that other people around you needed from you. You played a role that was required of you. And that role was like damaging in certain ways because it didn't make you feel like, oh, I'm getting the love for the truth of who I am. And that is the best feeling in the, in the world. And that's what I feel like this Earth Mother is representing, the goddess energy that she is representing here. Total peace, total tranquility, total inner love. Like you can see she's just sending all this golden loving energy inside of herself. She's got her eyes closed and she's loving herself. And I feel like from this place, like this is what you're this is what you're going through right now. This is what you're freeing yourself for is this embodiment of the goddess, of the love, of the self-love. And from that place, we have the fifth house, which is creative self-expression, playfulness, this children, the inner child. It's really though, it's about performance and like also self-expression and even just to the point of like having opinions, having ideas, like what makes you you, what makes you think that the way you think, you know? The fifth house is more about like what do we like personally think? How do we personally shine? And kind of like letting ourselves do that. I really like the fifth house. It's a very interesting one, and you could look at it from many different directions. But in terms of self love, this is to me leading to that self expression and that reclaiming of the voice as well, where you were more silenced in some way in the past. And then I'm seeing from this point in the future, you're not speaking to get attention, right? She has her eyes closed, the Earth Mother. She's not doing something for other people's approval. She's not doing it to be noticed, to be adored. She doesn't need that, but she's doing it because it's right. It's an extension of her love to feel loved and comforted and to share that as well. So I'm just seeing you're getting to a point where you're really peaceful about your self-expression, about who you are, about being authentic and saying, yeah, this is who I am, this is what I believe, and really being seen for that, really being known for that, and being known for your true authentic gifts and your true creative self-expression. So spirit wanting you to know that like what you're going through right now with the autumn, release the old and rest, the Sagittarius energy as well, the freeing yourself, that's about freeing yourself. You may be facing restrictions still, okay, in your present. That's the kind of energy I'm feeling. But Spirit's saying you're doing important work. That is a season in your life, but it will also end. And you will have this incredible rebirth energy. Like you're really making something incredible in the healing chamber that you're in right now. So if you are facing restrictions, Spirit's saying you're still in alignment because you have autumn, release the old and rest. Like you are releasing something right now that is some kind of obstacle, that has been an obstacle, that has been a barrier to you, that has caused delays or restrictions in your life. You're releasing that. You're in the process of releasing that now and freeing yourself. And yeah, you will be reborn with this Earth Mother energy. I mean, it's like the embodiment of the goddess, you know? So I feel that is the end of the reading. And if you did resonate with this reading, you might want to check out my light language healing. I have a light language healing on my store. It's called Activate Your Voice, and it's the throat chakra healing because I do feel my throat chakra a little bit. And as I was tuning into that past energy, I really felt that suppression in the throat, and then to the future where it's really open. You may want to consider working with Activate Your Voice, the throat chakra light language I have. It is a really good one. It's a really powerful one, especially if this has been your history where you've been silenced in some way, you haven't had the opportunity to be like seen and loved and for who you really are. Like part of that is reclaiming our voice and letting ourselves be known, letting ourselves express who we are. I'll link my store down below as well, and you can browse and see if any of the energy healings would support you at this time. Thank you so much for supporting my work. And I really hope this reading resonated. I'm sending you so much love and light. Take care.